As you know, the introduction has two statements. The background statement, which introduces the essay question by paraphrasing, and the thesis statement, which provides your opinion. Now, we're using the same essay question for the balanced approach, so we can use the same background statement, but our thesis statement will be different. On the board, there are three different thesis statements. Only one of them will be accepted as a good thesis statement for a balanced approach opinion essay. But let's go through each one and I will explain the problems. So the first one. In my opinion, there are advantages and disadvantages to free tertiary education. Now, this is a very big problem for a balanced approach because you're not allowed to turn this into a discussion essay. You are not discussing advantages and disadvantages. You have to give your own opinion. Also, the essay question doesn't say, what do you think of free education? The essay question is more specific, and it's saying, do you think everyone should have free university education? It's not asking for the disadvantages and advantages. This question is asking what you think. So this thesis statement is completely wrong. It's the wrong approach. So it's very important in IELTS that you understand what is accepted and what is not. So this thesis statement, it's not accepted. Now we move on to the next one. In my opinion, I completely disagree that everyone should get free university education, but I agree that some people should have it. Now, when I read this thesis statement, I can see that the writer is trying very hard to give the balanced approach by saying not everyone should have free university education, but maybe just a few people, just some people should get it. That is a better technique. But there are still problems with this thesis statement because it's not just about your ideas, it's about the way you express them, about the language you use. So let's have a look. The first problem I see is that we've got the word disagree and agree. Now, yes, it is possible to use them, but it is confusing for the reader. And it's better to avoid using disagree and agree in the same sentence, particularly for the balanced approach. And the next problem is here. And that's the word completely. Completely means 100%. So if I read this, it says, in my opinion, I 100% disagree that everyone should get free education. And then they're saying, but some people should have it. That's not possible because you've already disagreed 100%. So the problem here is language. If you're going to have a balanced approach, you need to be very careful about the way you express it. And you can't use words that mean 100% because then you can't offer any alternatives. You can't offer any exceptions to the rule. So this also is not considered a good thesis statement. It's confusing to the reader. Now we come to the next one. In my opinion, offering everyone free university education would be problematic and therefore should only be offered to certain individuals. Now we come to a thesis statement that explains a very clear opinion, and that is offering it to everyone is not a good idea, but offering it to just certain people is possible. All the language that's used in this is much more careful, and this does present a very clear opinion. So this is exactly the right way to write the thesis statement. Now let's have a look at the whole introduction written together. The full introduction. Fees for higher education are expensive, and not affordable for everyone. So, according to some, university should be free for all people, regardless of their background. In my opinion, offering everyone free university education would be problematic, and therefore should only be offered to certain individuals. With this introduction, you then have to plan your body paragraphs very carefully, because you will see that there are actually 2 points in the opinion. One is the problem of giving everyone free university education, and the other point is certain individuals could receive it. So it's a very particular and precise opinion. So what we need to do now is we need to plan the body paragraphs. So we've written the introduction and we've written our thesis statement. We have the specific opinion. We've brainstormed ideas on both sides. So the reasons that free education is good and the reason that free education isn't good. So we've got all our ideas, and what happens with most students is they just start writing without doing any more planning. They have their main points, they have supporting points, they've written the introduction and they start writing. You need to stop and think further. This is a balanced approach. It's not a discussion essay. So it's not enough to have ideas for one side, ideas for the other side, and to start writing. What you have to do now is think, how will I use these ideas to support my opinion? And that's what we're going to look at. Now, of course, the main opinion is that free education for everyone is problematic. So, of course, the first thing we need to do is explain why it's problematic. So what are the problems? So the first body paragraph will be about the financial problems, as we already planned. The second body paragraph will be the problem of disinterested students going to university because it's free. But this is where we need to be careful, and that's on the third body paragraph. We cannot suddenly say all the reasons why free education is good, because that would be a discussion essay. So what our third body paragraph is the exception to the rule, which was about certain individuals. And when you decide that, you need to think carefully, which people would you give free education to? And here we've decided it will be to poor students who are gifted. So these are a particular type of student. It's not for everyone. It's very precise. That is actually the main point. And what we've got here is one of the reasons why free education is good, but it's going to be used as a supporting point to explain that. So the balanced approach isn't just about using ideas from both sides, it's about using these ideas correctly to support your specific opinion. So those are our body paragraphs. Let's have a look now at the first body paragraph. Always remember that when you start writing your topic sentence, which is the first sentence of your body paragraph, you need to quickly go back and you need to take a look at the essay question and remember also what your point of view was. So I remember that I disagree that everyone should have access to free university education. That was my opinion, and this body paragraph supports it. So writing that topic sentence is important because it must contain that main point, which was about the financial problems, and it must also connect back to my opinion. So I've got having free university education for everyone, so we're stressing what it is I disagree with. Having free university education for everyone would put a tremendous financial strain on a country. Tremendous meaning a lot, a big, very big financial strain on a country. So that contains the main point. And then, of course, we've got the supporting points. So now let's look at the full paragraph. The full first body paragraph. Having free university education for everyone would put a tremendous financial strain on a country. Universities would have no income from fees, and consequently, they would rely completely on the state for funding. Doing this means taking funds from other much needed areas such as the healthcare system in order to allocate money to universities. For the majority of countries, particularly developing or underdeveloped countries, this would not be a financially viable option. So here we've got the topic sentence, which has the main point and all the supporting points. The first supporting points explain why it's a financial difficulty for countries to have free university education and what the effects will be. And then the last statement basically explains that actually it wouldn't even be possible for most countries. So that's the first body paragraph. Let's have a look at the second, which is all about disinterested students going to university because there are no fees. The next body paragraph, let's have a look at the topic sentence. Another point to consider is that offering all people free tertiary education would tempt many people to enter university, whether they were interested or not. So again, we look at that topic sentence and we make sure that it does connect to what I'm disagreeing with, which is all people having free university education. And it introduces the main point, which is the fact that having free education means that people will go to university even if they're not interested. And then we look at the supporting points. In other words, so that's a linker which shows we're going to explain more. In other words, rather than choosing to get a job, some people would opt for doing a degree to which they would only half-heartedly apply themselves. And this is a nice word, half-heartedly, which means they only focus with half their energy. And the next point, this would not only be a waste of a country's finances, but also a waste of human resources, because we said here that they would not get a job and instead they would go to university. So that's a waste of human resources. So here we've got the full body paragraph, topic sentence very clear, and supporting points. Now let's look at the last body paragraph. Body paragraph number 3. Let's have a look at the topic sentence again. Finally, the best solution would be to keep university fees, but still offer some free places to gifted students from poor backgrounds. So you can see here that this does not contradict our opinion. I'm not suddenly saying that I agree with free university education. I continue to say that we should keep university fees, but that it would be good to have some places at university for gifted students. And here I'm very clear about which gifted students. Gifted students from poor backgrounds, which means the gifted students who don't have money. And it says this would ensure that talented, intelligent students who cannot afford to pay for higher education would still get educated and trained. So that explains my idea. And then it says, as a result, society would benefit by getting the right people trained, and valuable financial resources would not be wasted. And again, this is supporting my opinion. So the most important thing really for this third paragraph is that I'm giving an exception, which is some people should get free university education, but I'm not contradicting my main opinion, which is I don't think everyone should have free university education. So that's the final body paragraph. Now it's time for the conclusion.